Kitchen is a show where we take different ingredients, aka instruments, and create a music production piece, or just beats, piece of music, whatever you want to go ahead and call it. But we're going to go ahead and go down the list of what we do here. Essentially what we're going to have is a recipe list that will explain all the ingredients that we have, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about methodologies, philosophies, and how we put everything together. And today what we're going to do is we're going to review the intro song to our show. And so we have 5 elements for this particular piece. We have 5 different instruments that we're using. One is going to be the drums, which obviously is going to be the main crucial part, and we're going to keep those dry, and then we're going to go ahead and go to the bass. We're just going to keep that direct, keep it pretty straightforward, kind of Motown-esque sound. Then next we're going to go ahead and go to the tambourine, add a little bit more percussion, add a little bit more of a live feel to it. And fourth, we have our Rhodes piano. Now with the Rhodes, we're going to go ahead and go a little bit crazy. We're going to add a lot of effects. We're going to probably do a few takes of different effect passes and things like that for the Rhodes sample. And and then lastly we have our vibraphone, which I'm a big fan of vibraphone. I just love the sound. Wish I could buy one for myself, but those go for about $3 to $4 grand, so pretty tough. But we're going to be using some vibraphone samples from Logic EXS24, and we're going to move forward from there. So let's dive into it. On the drums, we use Addictive Drums. Really great tone, really great sound. After manipulating it a little bit, I got it to where I wanted it, but I love the way they record and love the presets that they have. So it definitely gave me a lot of flexibility to do what I want to do. Next, when it came to our channel here, we used the direct bass sound, me playing the bass, and we used the bass amp inside of Logic. And didn't do anything too crazy with it, pretty much just kept it really straightforward, just wanted like a clean sound, as I mentioned before. Next is the tambourine, kept that pretty straightforward too. The spreader is the only thing I use with that. It's a modulation effect inside of Logic that gives it a wider stereo spread, so really cool. I use it pretty much on at least every other mix. Really great plugin. On the distorted Rhodes, I used a few instances of the Rhodes, 3 instances. On the distorted Rhodes here, what I did is I distorted inside of the actual plugin, so inside of Addictive Keys. I love Addictive Keys. Excellent Audio does a great job. I really love the sound that they have. And then next we have the Rhodes again, 2 more instances. One is for the left channel, one's for the right channel, and I added a wah effect from Logic. Just gave it kind of a funkier sound in regards to the modulation and things like that. And then lastly, what I did is I used EXS24 for the vibraphone samples. And just love the sound of the vibraphone samples inside of EXS24. And now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to talk about the master bus, which is the bus that you use for applying an effect to the whole mix. The main plugin that I want to talk to you guys about is Decimort, which is a bit crushing plugin. It's probably one of my favorite, but bit crushing is something that I feel like a lot of people don't really speak too much about, but I feel like it plays an important role if you want something to sound a lot older or a little bit warmer. Let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit more. Alright, so we're going to talk about bit crushing a little bit. The plugin that I used on this particular composition was Decimort. And Decimort is a bit crusher and effects processor that tries to emulate a lot of old samplers like the S900, for instance. The S900 is a 12-bit sampler, much like the S950, and popular amongst users of the SP1200 heritage. When it comes to newer samplers, and 2 that I use pretty frequently are the MPC 1000 and the SP404. A little bit more bit depth there, but yeah, still has a great crunchy sound. Love the sound of these. And then when you get to the higher end or the even newer samplers, there's like the MPC Renaissance. It can sample in 24 or 16-bit, and then the MPC 4000, which samples in 24, and I believe can also sample in 16-bit. But really, what you're doing when you're bit crushing, you're taking information away to get a certain tone. A lot of times that adds a little bit of warmth and a little bit of can add some artifacts to a signal, which a lot of times I find really, adds to the sound and really makes it kind of shine and sound really cool and old, which is ultimately the goal for this composition. All right, since we talked about that, we're going to go on the last plugin on my master bus, which is going to be the Molot compressor. I go through a lot of compressors typically when I'm on the master bus just to make sure that everything glues together correctly. This one I feel like really kind of preserved the dynamics while still gluing everything together. I really liked messing with the threshold and everything, the limiting parameters. Everything looked good and everything sounded good, so we were in good shape. But as far as today's episode of the V Kitchen, that's going to be a wrap for today. And I do want to let you guys know that we'll be posting episodes here periodically soon. And I appreciate you guys tuning in and subscribe. All right, peace.